In our automation, we're basically bringing two things together. One is the Fisher Technics pieces, and that's simply the brand name of those parts, kind of like Legos parts. And Robo Pro is the program that will help us connect this interface to the pieces that we've assembled. So let's take a look at that. We have the interface that's connected to the computer. You write a program on the computer. That interface interprets your program, and then it sends that information to your assembly. Here we have the interface labeled with different parts. First we have where the USB cable connects. Okay, so you'll connect the USB there to the interface, and then that has to be connected to your computer, and of course the interface needs a power supply. So those are both on the top of your interface. Then I have, if you look on the left-hand side, I've identified those little red buttons. Okay, those little red buttons are things that control, or buttons that control the display, and for the most part you shouldn't have to do anything with those. And then there's the EXT1 and EXT2. You shouldn't need that either. That's simply to in case you run out of inputs and outputs on this interface, then you can go ahead and connect another interface and have even more areas where you could be connecting motors that would be in a really big assembly, and we're doing some basic assemblies here. The red box shows on the interface where you would connect your motors. And notice I have all the different parts on the left-hand side, pictures of them, that are considered motors in this program. So even though the word is motor, it doesn't just mean that black thing with the spinning shaft coming out of it. It also means those other parts. But right now we're just going to look at the motor and how to control that. Here I have the interface, and the part of the interface I was just talking about is right here, M1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and here are your connectors. The green goes on the left and red on the right, and then that will go out to your motor. Notice that I have some connectors on the other end as well. So let's look at how to connect that to the motor. See the motor, and now again I'll just put green on the left and red on the right, and I connected it on top, but you'll notice there are also connectors on the side. You can use either one, whichever is most convenient for your assembly. These ends are always coming off the wire. So I want to show you how we put those connectors on. Here I have one wire that on one end it's already connected, and the green is on the part of the wire that has a little green strip on it, and then the red of course on the one that is just completely red. So here's the other end, nothing on it. So after cutting it off, I just used my fingernails to sort of pull those apart, but if you need help, just ask your teacher. So I have the two separate wires, and I can see that this one has green on it and this one's all red, and I need to expose the wire, so I'm just pinching the end and pulling the little plastic off so I can see the wire. Not too much of it, because we don't really want the wire to be exposed beyond that end connector. And here is my end connector. There's a little screw on the end of it. I need to open that screw just a little. Turn it left, lefty-loosey, turn it left, but don't take the screw all the way out because it's a really small screw and it's hard to find if it falls. And then again, making sure that I'm using the wire that has a green stripe on it. I'm going to put that wire inside and then close the screw back down on it to make that connection. So I just take my screwdriver again, and now I'm tightening. And have you ever heard righty-tighty? Well, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, and now that connector is on there. I would, every time you go to get some of your parts when you're doing automation, go ahead and grab a screwdriver right away, because really these do come off all the time. Whoops, I forgot to loosen that up. I've finished putting the ends on my wires, so now I'm going to go ahead and, actually I can take that back out because I'm not ready to connect that to anything. Now I'm going to get this connected to the computer, and it needs, whoops, power. So I take the USB that's connected and just plug it in to the front of the computer. You have 2 USB connections there. And I need my power supply. And the power supply is connected right there. And you have a plug-in behind your monitor. I'm going to pull this out a little bit so I can rest this here. There we go. Okay, plug this in. And I need to make sure that the Robo Pro program recognizes the interface connected. So I'm going to open Robo Pro and go ahead and ask your teacher to help you to open Robo Pro. It's in Programs, Curriculum, Resources. And now to make sure that it sees the interface, that the computer and the interface hear each other, they understand each other, they're connected, you're going to click on, let's get you a little closer here. I am clicking on COM USB, and it's connected, or at least it has the correct thing identified. It's a USB, it's Robo TX controller. I say OK, and OK again, and now test, and it says it's not found. So now what I'm going to do is turn this off and turn it back on. I'll say OK. And then give the program just a minute to read it. Again, I'm clicking on the COM USB. It's connected via USB. It's the Robo TX controller, the first one. OK. And then test. And not yet, so I'm just going to plug it into another USB connection, and then hopefully it'll pick it up this time. And it did. I just had to put it in the other USB. Okay, let's learn to make a simple program.